This is my week 2 captain's log for the IBM internship. And this is basically just a rundown of everything that I have learned and what I hope to learn and try to, discover next week. So this week I had a meeting with the Central Washington University IT department head, Christos. He had been working with some of the applications for Watson within Bluemix, and so we were able to talk about some useful apps and also how useful Watson would be within university libraries or the university as a whole. So what we found was essentially the actual apps are really simple. So the only way that a Watson application will learn, obviously, is if you put that information into it. So an HTML file, visual files, synonyms, that kind of thing. The 4 apps that I thought were the most useful were the natural language app, the text-to-speech, maybe, the language translator, which also comes with its own set of drawbacks, and maybe the visual app. So the visual app is taking a picture and Watson being able to read all those kinds, all of the text, all of the actual spaces, I suppose, and basically creating whatever you need it to. I think the biggest drawback this week was finding that all of the Watson apps, at least, are very simple. So they have examples for every single app that you what its original purpose was. For example, the natural language app basically can recommend restaurants. So trying to find a way for that app to, instead of giving you restaurant recommendations, maybe giving you recommendations for books or recommendations for different kinds of library media, depending on your interests or depending on the activity on your account, that kind of thing. Another would be utilizing natural language in order to take you around the library, or if we're blowing this out a little bit more, taking you around the university. I think an app that could utilize that, especially for first-year students or students with disabilities within the library or within the campus, would be incredibly useful. So essentially, what I've learned this week is that what we have created right now is incredibly simple, but that's really good. With Watson, I think that you can take something very simple and make it complicated. That is the simplest way that I can explain it. For next week, I really want to try and explore, maybe play around with the visual app, maybe text-to-speech. I'm not entirely sure where that could lead, but I know that it would potentially be very useful for a university student, whether they're working in the library or maybe having some kind of campus-wide app that would be able to convert your speech to text, and maybe that could work for notes. One of the drawbacks that I see would potentially be professors not wanting to use that, mainly because of the threat of people not really paying attention. But I guess if it's university sanctioned, that should be okay. But anyway, that is what I have learned for week 2, the week of May 1st through the 5th, and what I hope to get done next week.